Ooh, welcome to another episode of Exit Realty Radio. I am your host, Billy Jack, franchise owner and designated supervisor here at Exit Realty Central in El Paso, Texas. Today's episode is titled From Contact to Closing. So what I'm going to discuss today is I'm going to talk about all the different experiences that different realtors share with me. As some of you know, I work with a lot of different agents from different offices, and I am very good friends with a lot of these agents, and they'll share with me their experiences and their methods on what they do and what works and what doesn't work. And I want to extend that to you all, and hopefully it can help you as well. So a very common question that always gets asked is working with an unqualified potential buyer, right? So you get a customer that's wanting to see houses, or you talk to them on a lead from realtor.com or something like that, but yet they're not qualified yet. They don't know what they can really afford. They think they know, but they're not qualified yet. But yet they want you to go and show you these houses. So what do? So on one particular agent that I am very good friends with, his method, and he's a pretty top producer, and his method is he will show them a house or a couple of houses, and especially if he doesn't know them yet, he hasn't met them person to person yet. You know, this is usually off of a lead or a cold call or a situation like that. So he will take them out and meet them and show them a house, and then right there he'll start discussing options on getting them qualified to see exactly what they can afford, and so he can narrow down the search, is how he explains it to them. But the idea is, in this method, you get to know the customer gets to know you, you establish that rapport with them, and usually they'll stick with you. You see, and that's his method, and it works quite well. Very, very few times does he say he's wasted his time with in this kind of situation. And another agent, what she does too, is using the same scenario, same situation, unqualified, meeting for the first time, is you take that opportunity when you're showing the house. You're usually out there, customers there. It's very obvious that there's a showing going on. So the traffic that's driving by, people always slow down when they see a for sale sign out there. So what she'll do is she'll wave at them, and sometimes if they stop and they ask, oh, is that house for sale? How much is that place? And blah, blah, blah. And she'll talk to them and tell them, you know what, I'm doing a showing right now, but let me get your information if you like. I can show it to you within a few minutes when these customers are done. And she fishes like that. And it's very effective. She gets a lot of people, and herself, she closes a lot of deals. And using that method, she swears by it. So a lot of agents will tell you, I'll never show a house to somebody who's not already pre-qualified, and that's up to them. It depends on the workload that they have and, how much time they have available. So this is an option that you can do, to establish a good relationship with people, or just to get your name out there, get some experience, and you can work different angles. For example, with this realtor I just told you, that she's out there in the yard and talks to people as they drive by. And another agent that I'm also very good friends with, and he's also he sells quite a bit, but he also has a full-time job at the university. So I asked him, when do you draw the line where you drop a customer that's just looking for houses, and they don't really buy? And his answer was that he doesn't. He goes, I don't drop customers. He goes, unless they're always wanting to see houses every day, or I know straight up that they're just wasting my time and they got nothing else to do. But most people, they're not that way. And he always markets himself to his coworkers, so they're in a professional setting as well, and their time is limited. But his answer is, I never drop them. I hang with them. I always hang with my customers. I did an inspection for one of his customers not too long ago, and he's been showing them homes here and there for maybe the last year or so. It was quite some time. And that's when the question came up. I told him, man, you've been showing them houses that long? He says, well, I haven't shown them a lot. It's just a few here and there, but I always hang with them. I hang with my people. I'm available for them, just as long as it doesn't get excessive. So a main thing is, don't discount a potential customer right off the bat. Give them a little bit of a chance. I'll give you a quick example. I have a good friend of mine that I've known since high school. actually. And now he's a big investor. He has a lot of properties and he buys and flips them, and he has a lot of rentals and everything. Well, in the very beginning, he was interested in getting into this. We were both in the law enforcement field, and so when he was wanting to get into it, he had a lot of cash saved up. He had some cash in the bank and then some cash laying around, I guess. I don't know the full detail on that, but so he contacts an agent, and this is here in El Paso, and he tells the agent that he would like to see this one, kind of rundown piece of property. And so she agrees to go meet him, using the just meet and greet method like this. And after he sees it, she right away questions him, like, how are you going to pay for this? Because if you meet this guy, he doesn't seem like the most serious guy. He's a playful guy. He's kind of like no care in the world, And so she asks him that, and he says, well, I got cash. She goes, you do? Like surprised. And he says, well, yeah, I got some in the bank, and then I got some in my shoebox at home. And that's the way he talks, So she tells him, you know what, just, thank you for your time, and just let me know when you're really serious. And she locked up the door and left. And that's the story that he told me. And I know this realtor too, and she is quite busy. And so, I believe him. So anyways, he was like, well, okay. Well, he got his finances in order, so he got his put all his money in the bank, I guess, and got his proof of funds, right? So he calls her back. He decides, I'm going to go back with this same agent, I guess, just to show her, and showed her, you know what, I'm ready to buy some homes. And so she's like, well, okay. So he did, I can't remember if he bought that same one or a different similar property. So anyway, so he did it, and they closed on it, and he fixed it up and flipped it or whatever he did. And then he got another one, and then another one, and another one. And he uses the same realtor over and over now. And I just spoke to him recently, and he told me that she told him, you know what, I'm very sorry that I doubted you in the beginning. You've turned out to be a very profitable customer. So, don't discount them right from the beginning. You engage them a little bit and then see it. You'll figure out fairly quickly if they're real serious or not. And don't really judge them by the appearance in the very beginning either. I'll give you a very quick example. I had a customer maybe 3-4 years ago, and he pulled up to a big investment type of property, this big multi-family, big unit, and he pulled up in a very junky little car. I mean, it was just falling apart, it just looked really bad. And I kind of looked at him and I said, you're the one that's going to buy this, and he says, well, yeah, so, but, in my mind, I was like, well, okay. Well, it turns out that guy's a somebody, and he has a lot of money. He's got millions. And he bought that property, and he owns a lot of properties. And I even asked him, I told him, why do you drive that thing? After we had a good relationship, and I told him, why do you drive that thing like that? And he goes, oh, I got my cars in my garage. I said, I just drive this thing because I could park it wherever. Ain't nobody going to steal it. No, nobody's going to be getting too close to me in traffic, things like that. So, you can't just judge, you hear the saying, judge a book by its cover, so you can't judge people just right off the bat like that. Give them a little bit of a chance and wait and see what happens. Another quick example I'll give you is I had an encounter with a client, again, another couple years ago or so, and it was on a really big house, like $1 million home. And when he showed up, the way he would talk, I would see him, and he was a little run down, overalls, just looked like a good old boy, right? And I say, you're the one that wants to buy this home? And he says, that's right. And I mean, you heard the saying, this guy looks like he grew up in a barn or a farm or something. Well, it turns out it's true. He has a multi-million-dollar dairy farm. So he's got it, so I mean, you can never judge who's who like that right away, you see? So like I said, give them a chance, work with them and see. You'd be surprised the different kind of people out there. And there's nothing wrong with just meeting them for the first time. Get them a little qualified in your own method in your head there, and engage them and see if they're serious. And then you can discuss qualification options, or if they're paying cash, that's great. But if not, then you can set them up with a lender and tell them, before I show you more properties, we do have to narrow it down and then see what you can really afford, because I don't want to waste your time. And of course, you don't want to waste your own. Okay, so that's about it for today, folks. I ran a little bit over 10 minutes, but I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, I am your host, Billy Jack.